Let's talk about establishing a price. The first thing we can look at is arbitrary approach to pricing. This is just picking a number, deciding that will be a certain dollar price for a service or product without much other information. It's ignoring market conditions. It's ignoring whatever cost requirements are for recovery. And basically, it's a price that we're just comfortable with. We think it feels right or whatever it may be. And really, this can be really ineffective as far as meeting financial goals of your organization or department. Then we can look at competitive pricing, and this can be an efficient and effective strategy if your competition has similar goals as you do or in a similar operation. So we're looking at do they have a similar production resource, production schedule, production cost, and the market conditions are very similar as well. Then we can look at market pricing as far as the strategy for pricing. And this is what we do when we charge whatever the market is willing to pay. So whatever the consumer is willing to pay for that product or service. It assumes that the consumers are willing to pay at least the amount required to get cost recovery and hopefully a higher amount that will help with your financial returns. Okay, so we talked about cost recovery a little bit. Let's talk about that as a pricing strategy. What this does is we seek to get a return representing a predetermined portion of our resources required to provide that product or service. So in that regard, it may be less than, equal to, or greater than 100% of our cost, but we know that going in. And when we think about cost recovery as far as a pricing strategy, we got to know that it depends on the organization's financial objectives and how the service is being priced according to those objectives, right? And we talk about a bunch of different examples, but sometimes we'll use the Xbox or PlayStation as an example. They sell it below cost and hope to recoup those losses later in the transaction cycle with a unit or with supplemental or additional units. And as we're looking at cost recovery, we need to have accurate information about the cost of providing the service. So information about, to the extent the pricing strategy is expected to generate revenues equal to those costs, right? So we think about everything, not just like if we're building a widget, it's not just what materials are in the widget that cost, it's also the labor to develop that widget from planning to shipping out. And then all the resources incurred with administration, marketing, and all that kind of stuff as well. When we're looking at calculating costs of a unit price, we have to take into consideration several factors: fixed cost, variable cost, contingency requirements, and estimating the demand. And we'll talk about a formula later, but we really need to understand all four of those in order to come up with a unit price. When we think about demand or estimating demand, we need to understand that there are different needs, interests, constraints, and opportunities in the market. So we need to kind of understand all those as they surround our product. That way we can be assured that when we estimate the demand or the need for that product or service, we're having a good idea of what that actually is. Then we need to think about contingency. And contingency refers to being prepared for the unexpected, right? So what we want to do is build that into our modeling for our cost so we come up with a final price. And really what we're doing is we're taking a percentage or a fixed amount and building that into the cost of the unit for certain things like maybe replacing equipment, adding additional staff, whatever it may be. We have to build those in and incur those with the cost so we can have a good price on the other end. So this could be a one big cost or a smaller cost that goes on and on and on. When considering fixed and variable costs, we have to know that financial resources used in the production and delivery of the service are fixed costs. So things like the light bill, the water bill, delivery to said place, those are going to be there no matter what. And we got to think about also when it comes to delivering programs and additional just products. What are the things we have to have no matter what when we're delivering programs? It helps if we itemize costs for cost recovery pricing to really look at it as a line item thing as well. And then we can attribute a certain percentage to the specific program. Again, fixed costs are incurred regardless of how well the program does or does not do, or how many programs we offer and stuff like that. So if we offer more programs, the price per unit, so to speak, for that fixed cost may go down, but that fixed cost is always going to be there. I think this little chart here shows exactly what we're looking at. So we have an ice rink, and this is our cost summary. We're looking at October through April here. So we have capital cost at $4,300 a month times 7 months. There's no way we can get around that. We can't save on money by closing down partially during those times. We have administration overhead. So this is people that we have on staff that are going to be on staff no matter what, and they dedicate a part of their time to the program. We have ice installation and removal. So we have to have that no matter how much we use it or don't use it. And then we can go down to variable costs. So these are things that can change. Utilities and maintenance. So if we use it more, our utilities and maintenance are going to go up. Or if we use it less, they can go down. And the same thing with the staff. The more we're open, the higher staff costs are. Or vice versa. The lower or less use we have, the less hours we offer it, our staff costs will go down.